The thing in the walls wants the child. I am the only one who knows. I know you probably won't believe this. I'm not a person. I don't speak your language. I can't write, not really. But something is very wrong in this house. And I need someone to know before it's too late. I'm Duke. I'm a Labrador, 6 years old, and I've always been a good boy. I protect my family. I love the small one, the little girl who lets me sleep at the foot of her bed. But there's something in the walls. Something she talks to when no one else is listening, and now it talks back. They call me a good boy. I know because they say it with smiles, and pats on the head and the smell of joy. They say it when I sit, when I stay, when I nudge the little one away from chewing the electric cords again. I like being a good boy. That's my job. I guard, I listen, I watch. Even when they don't. And lately, I've been watching something they can't. It started on a Tuesday, rain against the windows, wind howling down the chimney. I don't like storms. But I'm brave for her, the small one. She's 5. And her heartbeat speeds up when thunder rumbles. I feel it from across the room. That night I heard footsteps upstairs. But they weren't ours. Everyone was on the couch. Mom and Dad smelled like popcorn and laundry detergent. The little one smelled like fruit snacks and crayons. The TV flashed blue and gray, but up above soft steps. Not heavy, not angry. Just wandering, pad, pad. Pause, pad, pad. I growled low in my throat. They didn't hear it, only the wind. But I did, and I didn't like it. The next day I sat by the stairs, watching. I don't know what I was waiting for, but something in me, something deep and old, said I should. That's when I saw the door open, the attic door. It's a high one. They keep it shut, sealed with a hook. Too heavy for the little one. Too annoying for the tall ones, but it opened, slow, whisper quiet, no wind. No footsteps this time, just the soft creak and then nothing. I barked, loud, sharp. Warning, Dad yelled. Duke, hush! The little one giggled. Hez just being silly. But I wasn't being silly. There was something up there, and it was watching back. Days passed. Things changed, the house changed. I started sleeping by the little one's door, not because I was told to. Because I had to. The shadows moved wrong at night. They bent around corners that had no corners. Sometimes I smelled wet earth. Like the ground after digging, only it came from the walls. I barked at the hallway one night, long, loud, until Dad came out half asleep and told me to shut up again. There's nothing there, Duke. But there was. It didn't have a shape. Not one I could chase or bite. But it had eyes, cold, empty, old. The first time the little one screamed, I knew it failed. She ran out of her room shaking, clutching her blanket. I was already up. I'd felt the cold minutes before a drop in temperature that sliced through my fur. Something touched my foot, she whispered. Mom and Dad hushed her, laughed nervously. Just a bad dream, sweetheart. But I knew better. I went into her room. It smelled wrong, like mildew, like moldy teeth, like the inside of something that used to live and chose not to stay dead. I growled at the closet. The door creaked open a half-inch more, all by itself. That night I didn't sleep. The thing in the house learned. It got smarter. No more loud footsteps, no more obvious chills. Now it whispered. Only at night, only when everyone else was asleep. At first I thought it was the TV. But the voices were inside the walls. Guttural, then sweet, like a man trying to sound like a woman, or a woman trying to sound like a child. They said my name sometimes. Duke. Such a good boy, and I would bark until my throat hurt, because I knew it wasn't kindness, it was bait. One evening, the little one talked to the closet. Not pretend talk. Whispers, serious. Eyes wide, unblinking. I barked, loud. Pushed her away with my body. She cried. Mom scolded me. I growled again, but not at her. At the thing I could feel behind the door. It was closer now. Bolder, feeding on her attention. Later that night, I scratched the door open when no one was looking. I stepped inside, empty. But the back wall was colder than ice. I pressed my nose to it. And I heard a heartbeat. Not mine, not hers. Something else. Then came the day the little one brought it something. A doll. Old, ragged. One we'd thrown out months ago because it had lost an eye and smelled like sour milk. But there it was, cradled in her arms. I barked, whined, nudged it away. She shoved me, screaming, "He likes it, don't touch it." That was when Mom finally noticed. "Where did you get that doll?" She shrugged. "My friend gave it back." Dad laughed. Mom didn't. She threw it out again. I saw the way the little one looked after it, eyes glassy, like a dog watching a bone tossed into fire. That night, she sleepwalked to the closet. I heard the latch snap. I leapt up the stairs. The door was open. She was gone. Panic is not a word dogs understand, but I felt it. I charged in, nose to the floor, her scent, her warmth. She had stepped inside, and the back wall was open. A hole, a crawl space that had never been there before. I growled and shoved through. It smelled of rot. I found her 2 minutes later, curled in the corner, eyes wide, whispering nonsense, rocking, and next to her, on the floor, sat the doll, smiling. I lunged, bit it, hard, but it was like biting stone. My teeth cracked. The family moved her to their bed that night. They didn't ask why she was in the attic. They didn't want to know. Humans are strange like that. Sometimes they feel the fear, but lie to themselves better than ghosts ever could. I stayed by the bed, watching the door. It moved again that night. I didn't bark this time. I charged, claws scraping wood. I leapt at the figure standing in the hallway. But there was nothing there, just a shape, a smell. Earth and rot and long-forgotten sadness. I chased it back up the stairs, straight into the attic, where the hole in the wall was now gone. The next morning, the little one said, "He doesn't like you, Duke." "Who?" Mom asked. "My friend in the walls." They called the priest 3 days later. He walked through the house, whispering prayers, sprinkling water. I didn't like him. Not because of who he was, but because whatever was in this house laughed at him. I could hear it. Rattling vents, whispering from light fixtures. It knew it couldn't be chased out by water and words. Not anymore. The little one grew quiet, pale, eyes empty, but sometimes she'd look at me and smile in a way that wasn't hers. "You're not a good boy anymore," she said once. "You're in the way." That night, it tried to take me. I slept in the hallway. I don't know what time it was when the cold hit the deepest ID ever felt, like falling into a frozen lake. Then came the pressure on my chest, like a hand, heavy, pushing. I couldn't move, couldn't bark, couldn't breathe. But I saw it, a shadow with no body, no eyes, just a shape, and behind it, the little one, watching, expressionless. "He said you don't belong," she whispered. "He said you're too loud." Then she walked back to her room. The thing vanished, and I could breathe again. I limped downstairs the next morning, bruised, sore. I laid by the window, where the sun could touch my fur. The thing didn't like the sun, but the little one stood by the stairs, staring, and she whispered. "He said we're going to keep you under the floor next time." I still bark. I still growl. I still sleep at the bedroom door. But I know I'm losing. The family doesn't see it. Not really. They think she's changing because she's growing up. They think I'm getting old, tired, aggressive. They think maybe they'll have to give me away soon. But I can't leave. Not while it's still here. Not while it still wants her. Because I'm a good boy, and that's my job. To guard, to listen, to watch. Even when they won't. I don't know how much longer I can hold it back. The thing in the walls is getting braver, and last night, the little one called it Daddy. He'll keep watching. He'll keep fighting. I'm a good boy. If anything happens to me, someone needs to know the truth. Thanks for reading. I didn't expect Duke's voice to come through so clearly, but there's more he wants to say. Part 2 is already scratching at the door. Let me know if you want me to open it. If you enjoyed the story, consider subscribing. But don't blame me if you can't sleep tonight. Until next time, keep the lights on and the doors locked. Goodbye.